Gaurav is also live with us. The fact, Gaurav, that these protests and these banners are coming up in Beijing just before the National Congress meeting starts this Sunday sends out a massive signal, because now they're targeting, in fact, the leader of China directly. They are not mincing words anymore, these protesters, because it appears right now that they're struggling, the economy is struggling, they're quite tired and exhausted with the restrictions on the ground.
People are absolutely exhausted. Whatever information, filters out of China, it seems to indicate that the frustration level is very high. Some of these videos that have come out in public domain, of course, after a gap, also show how people, especially women, sometimes even children, they are taking on uniformed forces. Rare. For example, there have been pictures at airports that armed policemen, wearing a bodysuit, they try to take on civilians, and civilians with their cameras out are saying, what is this? What are you doing? Are you going to use these weapons? You're meant to protect us and you are targeting us. And many other videos, half-finished buildings being pulled down, many videos going viral about the subprime crisis, not just in one part of China, but across China. The fact that people are lining up at banks, unable to withdraw money, that's leading to a lot of frustration. And the anger with the manner in which Xi Jinping appears to be running the country. But it's also a fact that Xi Jinping remains extremely powerful. Hardly anyone in China who can take on Xi Jinping at this stage, given that he's been able to put his people virtually everywhere. The fact that he's been president for 10 years, likely to be re-elected for another 5 years, and then likely to remain president for life, does indicate that there are very few people who are willing to take him on, given the fact that in the name of anti-corruption movement, he's been able to lock up several of his rivals and competitors.
Okay. Geeta also is, of course, over the phone line with us right now. Geeta, taking off from that last point that Gaurav made, in fact, that, Xi Jinping has ensured in many senses that he has no competition whatsoever. So while the people might be rising up against him in small, unprecedented manners in Beijing, in China, where it has been unthinkable of, on the ground itself, nothing can touch Xi Jinping yet.
I completely agree with Gaurav Polami on this point that while there are protests, and it's not like it's unprecedented to see protests in Beijing, but not like it has never happened and that people have not been raising concerns. The fact is that there are concerns that have been raised, and over here, nothing right now can change the fact that Xi Jinping has a massive control over not just the party, the administration, but also the military. And given, like Gaurav said, all the important positions today are covered by people who are Jinping loyalists, is the reason why the smooth transition from a second to a third term will be absolutely in place and likely. So highly unlikely that there will be any change in the plans for CPC in terms of what the meetings and the Congress is going to look like, and also the fact that Xi Jinping certainly is going to get his third term, which could very well mean that the change in the constitution and how China would be functioning is a third term. It could very well be Xi Jinping as president for a very long time to come.
Okay.